Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. I'm here today and I'd like to share with you a few verses from Paul's letter to the Romans, starting with the first verse of chapter 12. And here's what we say. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he's done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. And then we'll switch over to verse 9 and 10. Don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. But love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Well, this chapter is a chapter about living and offering as a sacrifice to God something new is to something. Now, in our culture, we don't really talk much about sacrifice, particularly as it's sacrificing relationship to worship. Oh, we sacrifice some of our time during the week, and perhaps we put some in the plate, so we sacrifice some of our money, but we don't have this real huge idea of the true meaning of sacrifice and what that entails. But Paul's writing to Romans in a land very different from ours. And they know something about sacrifice, particularly sacrifice to the state. Rome demanded your allegiance, all of it, whenever they asked for it and whatever the cost. Rome was not a friendly government system. It was very harsh. And whoever disagreed, well, not anything good's going to come to that person. So in the midst of that, Paul talks about sacrifice. And he says, I plead with you to give your bodies to God. Let there be a living and holy sacrifice of yourself. Now, I heard a little tidbit one time. Someone said, the problem with people who give their sacrifice to the altar or leave it on the altar is they keep taking it back. Well, there's some truth to that because we give of ourselves to God with great intentions for many. And then something happens and we forget about him and we go by do our own thing. And then maybe sometime later we'll remember, but now we're embarrassed because of what we did in between. And so we think if we just stay away, God will forget about us. But God's intently concerned about each one of us. You, wherever you are, whatever's happened in your life, God's concerned about you. So much so, he's got all kinds of links to try to get you to want to be with him. He won't force you, but she'll keep inviting. And it says is to offer your body as a living sacrifice. Now, one of the ways you do that, one of the more important ways you do that, is the verses I read, beginning with verse 9. Let me read it again. Don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Paul says, don't pretend to love each other. Really do it. Hate whatever's wrong. Hold tightly to that which is right. When we love somebody, we'll go to any lengths to help them, to protect them, to guide them, to counsel them. If we really love somebody, that means we'll give up anything and everything, if need be, to benefit them. A lot of parents do that with their kids. Sadly, a number do not. And the stories of the hell that parents put through kids is, is, is mind-boggling. But most of us try to be loving and caring. And perhaps you can think of your own parents who tried that for you. Now, my parents weren't close to me, and they weren't modern parents who spent a lot of time with me, but I knew they wanted the best for me. And it's just to love them and really, really love them by doing what's right, hanging on to it. Whatever it costs you to love someone else is worth the price. Now, I know we get pretty selfish. In fact, it says here, don't do that. The next verse, which I didn't read, starts out by saying, never be lazy. Don't be lazy about loving somebody. If you're going to care, care. Don't do it half-hearted. If you call someone up and say, hey, if you need anything, let me know, and they let you know, then do something with it. Don't just say it. I think a lot of people say, oh, call me if you need me. But they don't really mean it. They're just being polite. And I understand that. And I appreciate that. But loving means doing. Loving is not an attitude. It's an action. It's a free choice of behavior. And if somebody treats you unlovingly, you can choose to treat them lovingly. What they do to you is not what you have to do to them. You see, you and I are alone responsible for our actions. We're in charge. Nobody else is. And if we've messed it up, we messed it up. Next time, maybe we won't mess it up. But this passage is talking about giving a sacrifice of who you are, who you really mean you are, by caring about others. I would say that's the ultimate proof of someone's Christianity. Do they demonstrate care for others? So I want to encourage you today. Find ways to do that. If you think God hates you, and some of you listening may either say that or get pretty close. Okay, I accept that. Go help somebody and see what happens anyway. This is a absolute practical application that changes you. Really love somebody and see what God does for you. Well, thanks so much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another short idea to share. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you have a need or a prayer concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your needs. Thanks for listening. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.